How's it going, everyone? It's your boy Freeman C2, and you guys are probably wondering, what is this RX-8 engine doing here? And believe it or not, we are swapping it into the FD. With all jokes aside, we actually need parts from the RX-8 oil pan to swap over to our Nicon Rotary oil pan. So we have to open this up, get those parts, and we'll handle it in a time lapse. So we got all the parts that we needed from the RX-8 motor, and now we have to transfer all these over here. This one right here is the oil level sensor that goes right there, and this one goes through here. The pickup tube goes on the engine, and this one locks the oil sending unit that goes right like that, and then this one locks it in. When installing the oil pickup tube, Nicon Rotary provides a spacer. So there is a little bit of modification that you have to do to that spacer on each side. I believe from what I saw in the forums, you have to cut it so it can have some space to where you could pass the bolt through that aligns this spacer with the FD motor, the spacer, and then the RX-8 oil pickup tube. So we'll handle that, and I'll explain it in another video. Let me show you how a pain in the ass it is to have a lowered car when you are in your 30s. All the oil that leaks from my car, and there's a new puddle forming over there. Now this right here is my secret sauce on jacking up your car. I'll leave a link in the description. This has saved my pinch welds from getting eaten up from jacking up, jacking down. Kind of sounds kind of homo, but you get my point. So we finally got the car on jack stands. Let's drain the oil from the transmission and the oil pan. As I mentioned before, that's where the motor mounts sit, and when you go on boost, this motor will twist, and the motor mounts right there are the vulnerable piece. Especially I have polyurethane bushings right there. Eventually the gasket will start loosening and the oil will start coming out. So right there is the transmission pan. It doesn't even look like a pan at all, so doing the Nicon Rotary upgrade probably gives about another quart in there, which is a good thing. And removing the plate right there exposes the motor mount even more. And as you can see, so much oil has been leaking from there. It's every time I leave my car parked, it starts leaking instantly. Fuck. So we finally got this off. It was a pain in the ass, but the next step to this is to bring this plastic piece over to the new one, and make sure to bring over as well the bolts. This magnet piece you don't have to bring over. I believe that's the reason why they added a bigger magnet to the drain plug. The thickness of the new aluminum pan is the same thickness as the original one, so you just have to use the original OEM bolts to put this back. So for this application, we'll be using Honda Bond. I heard a lot of recommendation for this one. It'll seal this pretty well, better than anything else on the market. Well, so that concludes the Nicon Rotary transmission pan install. It's already November 9. And we have about 7 more days left in order for us to reach our Sevenstock goal of making it over there. I'll let the silicone on the transmission pan cure before I torque it, so that will happen tomorrow. Our next install will be the oil pan, but I do have to take off a couple of things off of the engine bay in order to start the install. The intercooler, the strut bar, and then I have to install some hooks in order for me to be able to use the hoist over there to lift up the engine in order to have access to the oil pan. I'll be handling that offline, and then we'll start the next episode where we just uninstall and install the oil pan itself. So I'll see you guys on the next video.